It's Mike Wolfe, everybody. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Where you at?
I'm here in Salt Lake City.
Oh, my buddy owns a museum in Salt Lake City. It's called Legends Motorcycle Museum.
I know it
Have you
well.
are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I am. What a terrific connection.
Yeah, he's been on the show a few times. He's a great guy.
Oh, Mike, history's greatest picks. I mean, this is really an interesting spin off of the show. Are we forgetting our history? And
I think to a certain level we are, and I think it's interesting what we all find what we all I guess hold on to as far as our history. When we talk about national history, world history, community history, we talk about the history of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, or we talk about James Dean's car, or we talk about the history of the Big Mac, whatever it is, it's all American history, and that's all connective tissue for all of us. I feel like we're a country right now that's very divided.
yeah.
And when we talk about collectibles and we talk about things from our childhood or from our family's history or whatever it is, it tends to bring us together because, we all have experienced things in the past together. Remember when we would experience things together?
Yeah.
When Walter Cronkite had a piece of paper in his hands and he read the news and we all heard it at the same time? Wasn't that amazing?
I think the separation is hurting us in a lot of ways because we don't share that much anymore.
Yeah, I think what the great thing about American Pickers has done over the last 16 years, from what people come up to me and say is, I watched this show with my parents. I watched it with my grandparents. It's something that we all watched as a family together that we all loved. This History's Greatest Picks is a show like that too, because at the end of the day, storytelling is the oldest profession in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're watching story on American Pickers and now watching story again on History's Greatest Picks.
And those stories are just amazing. I mean, and we forget the beauty that these craftsmen put into things that we just don't see anymore, especially in automobiles and bicycles and things like that. This just aren't there anymore.
I'm so glad you brought that up because when I look at something, whether it's a car or bicycle or motorcycle or whatever it is, I'm looking at something that somebody drew on a piece of paper
Yeah.
from their mind to their hand to a piece of paper. And then they might have colorized it and made it more beautiful. And then they pitched it as a concept. And then they had to tool up for it. They had to design it. The process was so much different before computers. But then when you think about when that piece was made, what was America like at that time? What were we all doing? Why was this car designed this way? Why is it relevant now?
And when you present something on the show, I think about the music of the times, um, food of the times, and it just brings me, it's like a time machine.
You're exactly right. It's almost like you can smell the popcorn in the theater while you're watching it because you're watching James Dean's car or
Yeah.
007's car go across the block. I was just talking to a guy earlier, and he said that he met 007 at a drive-in movie theater. He was there to promote
Yeah.
his show. Imagine how simple and romantic that time was, where like a superstar like that would go to a drive-in movie theater to talk to the audience, eat hot dogs with them, watch the movie with them together. I mean, times have obviously changed, but I don't think what's not changed to me is like what's in our heart and our minds. Like, what do we romanticize about? What are we
Yeah.
excited about? What like gets us out of bed and puts air in our lungs? You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I met James Bond also at a mall doing a promotion, and
No.
he had the Aston Martin, which was owned by a guy here in Salt Lake City for a while.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. How old were you?
I must have been 8 or 9
Oh
and
my
blown away
God,
by
that had
that.
to be
So
so impactful.
yeah, uh,
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like that nostalgic moment for you. Like how do we tap into that again? This show taps into so many things because it's a themed show. Like the episode that you saw is transportation related,
yeah.
but then there's space related themes, there's vintage clothing, there's sports memorabilia. There's 8 different categories of collectibles.
and it's educational. Your shows are always, they always bring me to a point of, wow, I didn't know that. And you're
Yeah.
so good at storytelling.
Oh my God, thank you. Well, you know what? I mean, we're all told story at young ages. Our parents were reading us story to put us to sleep before we even knew what was happening,
Yeah.
and then we fell in love with story, and then we wanted to create our own story, and so I'm really excited to tell these stories because when we say the words, we make all of this real again.
Well, what's the white whale? What are you looking for? What would be the find of finds?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm a motorcycle enthusiast. And so around the turn of the century, there were over 300 different brands of motorcycles. And so many of them maybe only made two or three bikes. And then they got swallowed up by a bigger company or they couldn't afford to do it anymore. So I want to find American motorcycles pre-1910 that
Wow.
no one has ever found before.
I had heard, and you can verify this, there were
Yeah.
electric motorcycles back in the day.
You're exactly right. And there were electric tandems that came over from Europe. Europe brought over the combustible engine with the Didion Bouton motor. They brought over electric tandems. They brought over electric cars. There was a Pope manufacturing on the East Coast that was making electric cars. They were all trying to figure it out. Is it electric? Is it steam? Is it a combustible engine? And we all know how that story ends. We
Yeah.
all know which one won. Gasoline,
Yeah.
baby.
And as we end, because I've only got about a minute left here, and thank you so much, Mike, for your time. I always love talking with you. Um, you yourself, I mean, do you fall back in love with picking every time?
Oh, it's never left me. When I was traveling, sleeping in my van for years, I bought a camera and I started documenting all of these stories. I just wanted to share what was happening to me. There were so many moments. And when you have those moments in your mind right away, you're like, I'm having a moment. I want that for people when they watch History's Greatest Picks this Sunday.
Mike Wolfe, when you come out to Salt Lake, come look me up. I'll buy you a cup of bad coffee.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity.
Not a problem. You have a great day.